The battlefield of Kryn 7 stretched endlessly under twin crimson suns, a graveyard of shattered warships and the broken dreams of 100 species. Varus collapsed against the twisted remains of a Veltraxian gunship, his hand pressed against the gaping wound in his abdomen. Purple blood, not his own, mixed with the red that poured between his fingers. The human mercenary had seen death before, had danced with it on a dozen worlds. But this time, the music had stopped. His vision blurred as he stared at the sky, watching orbital debris streak across the atmosphere like dying stars. The Battle of the Convergence was over. The Coalition had lost. Humanity's latest gambit to prove themselves among the galactic powers had ended in catastrophic failure. Still breathing, human? The voice cut through his fading consciousness like a blade. Varus turned his head, the movement sending fresh waves of agony through his core. A figure approached through the smoke and ash, tall, impossibly graceful, her armor gleaming with the distinctive iridescence of the Chirathan warrior caste. Lyra. Even through the haze of approaching death, Varus recognized her, the legendary Chirathan champion who had turned the tide of the battle single-handedly. Her energy spear cutting through human battle lines like they were nothing more than morning mist. The Coalition had warned them about the Chirathan, about their ancient warrior traditions, and the deadly elegance of their combat arts. Humanity, in its characteristic arrogance, had assumed technology could overcome tradition. They had been catastrophically wrong. Come, to finish. The job? Varus coughed, tasting copper and defeat. Lyra stood over him, her spear planted in the scorched earth beside her. The weapon hummed with barely contained energy, its crystalline core pulsing with a light that seemed to exist in colors Varus's human eyes couldn't quite process. Her face, angular and sharp-featured beneath her battle helm, bore none of the triumph he expected. Instead, something else resided there. Something that might have been regret. "Your species fights with such ferocity," she said, her voice carrying the melodic undertones common to her kind. "Such determination. Yet you know nothing of true sacrifice." Varus laughed, a wet, bubbling sound. "Big words." "Is it winning?" Lyra asked, removing her helm to reveal eyes that burned like molten gold. "If the cost is everything you are." Before Varus could respond, Lyra dropped to one knee beside him. Her gauntleted hand moved with surprising gentleness to his wound, probing its edges. He gasped, his back arching against the pain. "The damage is mortal," she stated, matter of fact. "Your physiology is resilient. I've killed enough of your kind today to know. But this is beyond even human stubbornness. Then why? Prolong it?" Lyra's golden eyes met his, and in them, Varus saw something he never expected to find in an enemy. Understanding. "Because I have watched your species today. You don't surrender, even when you should. You don't retreat, even when it's wise. Your ships were outmatched, your weapons inadequate, your tactics predictable. Yet you fought, not for conquest or glory, but for each other. I saw a human soldier throw herself on a plasma grenade to save 3 others. I watched your commander stay at his post as his ship died around him, ensuring every escape pod launched before his own. Your species is young, foolish, and reckless." She paused, her hand moving to her spear. "And you remind me why I became a warrior." The spear's hum changed pitch as Lyra gripped it. In Chirathan culture, Varus dimly remembered from pre-battle briefings, the energy spear was more than a weapon. It was a soul bond, a connection between warrior and the ancient life force their civilization had mastered millennia ago. Each spear was unique, grown from the warrior's own essence over decades of training and meditation. To touch another's spear uninvited was the gravest insult. To willingly share it was an act reserved for only the most sacred of bonds. "What are you?" Varus began, but Lyra placed a finger against his lips. "The Chirathan understands something your kind has yet to learn," she said, her voice dropping to barely a whisper. "Life is not confined to the body. It flows, like water, like energy. It can be shared, transferred, given freely, as the ultimate gift. She lifted her spear, its light intensifying until Varys had to squint against its brilliance. The weapon trembled in her hands, and he realized with shock that she was afraid. "My people have grown decadent," Lyra continued, her words tumbling out faster now. "We win battles, but we've forgotten what we fight for. We preserve tradition, but we've lost the spirit that created those traditions. We are living monuments to a glory we no longer understand." Quote, "Touch my spear and live," she whispered, pressing the crystalline shaft toward him. "Take my essence, my life force. Let humanity learn what my people have forgotten. Wait." Varys tried to pull away, but his dying body wouldn't respond. "I don't." He felt life again. The chronicles would later record, written by those who pieced together the final moments from orbital recordings and recovered data logs. The moment Varys's blood-slicked hand touched Lyra's spear, energy erupted between them. The weapon's light exploded outward in a nova of prismatic brilliance, and life-pure, undiluted vitality flooded into Varys's failing body. His wound sealed shut. His collapsed lung re-inflated. His shattered ribs knit themselves whole. Kirathen life force mixing with human determination in a way no being in the galaxy had ever experienced. But life, Varys understood in that crystalline moment of terrible clarity, was finite. Energy could neither be created nor destroyed, only transferred. And as vitality flowed into him, he saw it dim from her eyes. Lyra swayed, her golden eyes fading to amber, then to a pale yellow. Her iridescent armor dulled. The spear in their joined hands pulsed once, twice, then went dark, its crystalline core now empty. "Why?" Varys gasped, now strong enough to catch her as she fell. "Why would you?" "Because," Lyra breathed, her voice barely audible, "someone must teach your kind to be better than mine. Someone must show you that strength without purpose, victory without meaning, is just slow death." Her hand, still touching the spear that connected them, squeezed his weakly. "My people will come for you. They will want their champion's spear returned. Tell them." A slight smile crossed her fading features. "Tell them I found a worthy successor." "I can't," Varys's voice broke. "I'm just a mercenary. I'm nobody." "Then become somebody." Lyra's eyes closed, her breathing shallow. "Humans always do." The battlefield fell silent around them, the last echoes of combat fading into the scorched earth. Varys knelt there, holding the dying Kirathen warrior, the dormant spear still connecting them, and felt the weight of an impossible burden settle onto his shoulders. In his hands, Lyra drew her final breath, a whisper of contentment escaping her lips. The great Kirathen champion died as she had lived, making an impossible choice, giving everything for a future she would never see. And Varys, the human mercenary who had died on a forgotten battlefield, lived. He rose with Lyra's spear in hand, its core slowly beginning to pulse with a new light. Not Kirathen gold, but human red mixed with something else, something unprecedented. Above him, the first Kirathen retrieval ships descended through the smoke. They came for their fallen champion. Instead, they found something their ancient civilization had never imagined. A human warrior bearing the spear of their greatest hero, alive with a power that should not exist, standing as a bridge between two species that had only known war. Varys looked at the approaching ships and gripped the spear tighter. Lyra had given him life, purpose, and an impossible task. The least he could do, he decided, was try to be worthy of the gift. Humanity's true war, he understood now, was just beginning. But this time, they wouldn't fight alone.